This is Nationwide. I'm Ruth Aguera. The federal government has flagged off the reconstruction and expansion of the Lagos-Ibadan dual carriageway while performing the flag off at Shagamu in Ogun State. The Minister of Works, David Umahi, assured that the project would cover underpasses, pedestrians and flyover bridges. Hakim Jimo will tell us more.
The first mention of the Shagamu reinvestment in the and the use of all Nigerians.
That was the official flag off of reconstruction work on the Lagos-Ibadan Shagamu Expressway Phase 1. The Minister of Works, David Umahi, acknowledges that the federal government is upgrading and expanding the expressway to reduce man-hour loss, enhance safety, and facilitate ease of doing business in the country. He directed that no payment should be made to contractors without an advanced payment guaranteed certificate and performance bond.
And I want to charge everybody to check the quality of work.
President Bola Tinubu, who was represented by the Ogun State Governor, Dapo Abiodun, believes in the strategic importance of the road as the busiest axis that provides a direct link between Lagos and other parts of the country, assuring that it will be completed in 24 months.
The inclusion of the Shagamu or the expressway in this space further underscores the renewed Hope Agenda's vision of ensuring that our national road network meets international standards.
Stakeholders expressed gratitude to the federal government for having the people at heart, appealing for the construction of fire stations along the expressway in case of any emergency. From Shagamu in Ogun State, Hakim Jimo, NTA News.
On legislative affairs, House of Representatives urges ministries, departments and agencies of government and other stakeholders to integrate climate change resilience strategies to mitigate impacts of climate change. This was during an interactive session of the House Committee on Climate Change and Security. National Assembly correspondent Isa Mohammed reports.
The effect of climate change in Africa, with Nigeria inclusive, is far-reaching through flooding, prolonged droughts and erosion, all of which are threats to lives and ecosystems. The House Committee on Climate Change and Security says tackling climate change requires shared commitment. As the African proverb says, if you want to go far, go together.
As a committee, we will champion legislative frameworks, policies, preferring solutions, oversight, and ensuring that all legislators are held accountable in the fight against negative impact of climate change.
In another development, the House of Representatives has vowed to reposition pension administration in Nigeria through amendment of the Principal Act to bring relief to retirees and next of kins in assessing pension benefits.
Pensions Reform Act 2014 should be reviewed and amended to address the loopholes identified according with the 10 years plan, which is due to be immediately reviewed as stipulated by the Act.
The Committee on Pension has also constituted an ad hoc committee to harmonize submissions and memoranda from stakeholders at a public hearing in the amendment processes. From the National Assembly, Isa Muhammad, NTA News.
Brazilian investors, we hear, have indicated interest to partner the Ministry of Livestock Development to accelerate the growth of the sector and by extension promote food security. Minister of Livestock Development, Idi Mukhtar Meha, who dissected the livestock model, assured the investors of Nigeria's support.
To accelerate the development of livestock, which has always been a critical sector for the economy, it would be recalled that in 2024, the Nigerian government and JBS signed an agreement for a 5-year investment plan to cover the construction of poultry plants. And this visit attests to the commitment of the Brazil protein giant JBS to the agreement to advance livestock development and bridge the gap within food production chains in Nigeria.
We will keep on following on the agenda until probably one day, and that day is going to be very, very soon, that will kickstart and commission a JBS facility here in Nigeria.
Wesley Batista, who led the JBS team, emphasized that the partnership will foster technical exchange through a model.
Let's bring independent farmers small, medium-sized farmers to see, that this is like a lab.
A model.
A model.
A model farm.
Yeah, a model farm.
The engagement, which involves key actors in livestock value chain, is expected to drive food sufficiency. Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
Federal government is working out modalities for the removal of obstacles in the agricultural business climate and boost effective participation across its value chains. Now, this is coming from a presidential roundtable on agribusiness geared towards driving critical investors, or rather investments, in the sector. Tokbe Alabi reports.
Agriculture contributes about 41 trillion naira annually to the nation's gross domestic products, with employment on the scale of 30% across various value chains of production. Now, stakeholders at this presidential roundtable on agribusiness, including the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, who represented President Bola Tinubu, are leveraging regional and global intervention bodies to surmount challenges.
I encourage all Nigerian farmers to look upon agriculture as sustainable and inclusive business enterprise so as to optimize their productivity and exit poverty and get into prosperity.
With access to over 200 million consumers within Nigeria and a regional market of more than 1.4 billion people under the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, make Nigeria one of the most attractive agribusiness destinations.
There is vast opportunity for progress in agribusiness, and Nigeria can make a lot of money.
We aim to create a structured platform where meaningful engagements lead to actionable solutions. I believe that collaborative efforts like this are essential for building resilient and prosperous agribusiness landscape in Nigeria.
Our smallholder farmers now have hope.
A policy framework to achieve the new initiative aimed at promoting productivity and competition on agro-commodities was launched.
In Abuja, Tokwe Alabi, NTA News.
In what seems like a renewed vigor to ending the era of sale of unwholesome products in Abia State, Area International Drug Section and Tenant Road drug markets have been shut down by the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control. We hear shop-to-shop evaluation of products are ongoing, while fake products are identified and confiscated. Ikechukwu Undukwe reports.
NAFDAC has sealed some sections of Eziokwu market for the sale of unwholesome products. Just last week, Vekumi and Tenant Road drug markets were sealed by NAFDAC for changing expired dates, selling unregistered and adulterated products.
We have also screened 2 warehouses that by intelligence we were led to. And those warehouses, we've moved out about 14 trucks, 14 10 tons truck filled with expired products.
What we are actually following up is what we call marketing surveillance and control. We have to ensure that what we have in the markets are surveyed regularly.
This is just one of the sessions that is undergoing investigation. With NAFDAC officials come up with explanations on how some of the drugs and products here, the expiring dates are being revalidated by these fakers, making them unsafe for human consumption. Ikechukwu Undukwe, NTA News.
Thank you, Ikechukwu. President Bola Tinubu heartily felicitates Dr. Daniel Bwala, Special Advisor on Policy Communication, on his 50th birthday. In a statement by his Special Advisor, Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, President Tinubu lauds Bwala's articulation of government policies to ensure the public understands the administration's agenda. Leveraging his expertise as a lawyer, political analyst, and public affairs commentator, the President wishes him continued success and more years of impactful service to the nation. All right, let's head to Lagos now to join Adiola. She has our next set of reports. Hello, Adiola. Join our deals.
The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has sealed up over 11,000 shops in Aba, Onitsha, and Idumota drug markets, arrested 40 culprits linked to the sale of unregistered and dangerous drugs in Nigeria as a result of ongoing crackdown on illicit drug trade in major markets nationwide. Director General of the agency, Professor Adeyeye, disclosed this in Lagos. Imeldo's report is here presented.
Director General of the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, Mojisola Adeyeye, disclosed that the agency has so far evacuated more than 77 truckloads of illicit and counterfeit drugs seized from the three major markets. At Idumota, a total of 3,027 shops were closed. 4,000 were shut down in Onitsha and another 4,000 in Aba. The DG stated that the discoveries during the operation were mind-blowing and lament the rate of falsified products, including machines used to change expiring dates on drugs, as well as drug donations from USAID. In addition to expired medications, the agency also discovered drugs stored in unsanitary conditions.
We need to sanitize the drug distribution in Nigeria. This is not the way it's supposed to be.
Mojisola disclosed that many of the drugs seized were smuggled into the country and are not registered in NAFDAC's database. She emphasized the agency's commitment to safeguard the future of Nigerians.
Tramadol, Analgin. Analgin has been banned in Nigeria before my time. We found loads of Analgin, not just one box, 2 boxes, like container loads of Analgin. How did they get into the country? And we have found products, of course, most of these products are expired or registered.
Acknowledging resources constraints as a major challenge, the Director General urged the federal government to provide the agency with more support while working to tighten border security to prevent the smuggling of counterfeit drugs, noting that the agency is far from finished with its mission of eradicating substandard and falsified drugs from Nigeria.
Encouraged by the success recorded so far in the first phase of the Nigeria Community Action for Resilience and Economic Stimulus (NG Cares), which positively impacted the lives of 16 million poor and vulnerable citizens, the federal government is consolidating on the gains of the program with more funding for the NG Cares 2.0. Joa Popola reports that the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning, Emeka Obi, at the opening of the appraisal meeting assures that the second phase will be more encompassing.
The appraisal meeting of major stakeholders across the country is to assess the progress of work, identify grey areas and develop a framework for the sustainability and success of the second phase. The Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning, Emeka Obi, who commended states and development partners for their unwavering commitments to the program, says additional funding will help expand the reach and scope of the NG Cares. He urged the stakeholders to prioritize key elements of the design to emphasize ownership of the program by subnational governments and other implementing partners for guaranteed social protection of the poor.
The necessary policy and institutional support and frameworks as well will be provided by the federal government to facilitate smooth implementation of the program. In this second phase, I want to charge all stakeholders to engage constructively, keeping in mind that the success of the NG Cares program, additional financing is central to the renewed hope agenda of our dear administration.
Other speakers from the development partners and the implementation team highlighted the objectives of the second phase, including major projection and eligibility criteria in a detailed analysis.
We now have a robust support mechanism now on the NGKS 2.0 to help in standardization, improvement in the integrity, credibility of the social register, and actually its expansion and update. This is fundamental because about 3 of our DLIs, 3 of our intervention areas depend on the social register.
We reimburse you this amount, but we want you to invest in your people this amount. So we have a $500 million financing for the new program. what we expect to achieve is over $1 billion.
With the first phase of NG Cares expected to end in May, the second phase will kick off this year and climax in 2027. In Lagos, Joel Bukbola, NTA News.
And we're done with our contribution from Lagos. Nationwide will continue in Maiduguri after this break.
You're still on to Nationwide on the Nigerian Television Authority. The news belt now continues in Maiduguri. Drug abuse poses severe health risk, including permanent damage to blood vessels, high blood pressure, heart attacks, strokes, and even death. These dangers were the focus of a sensitization campaign organized by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, in collaboration with the University of Maiduguri. Angarju Anagawa will now tell us more.
The initiative aims to educate students on harmful effects of drugs and promotes drug-free society across Africa. Borno State NDLEA Command outlined the dangers of drug abuse and highlighted the agency's achievements.
We had a seizure of 2,400 kg of materials used in producing all this akuskura. And then we arrested many liters of soccer dye, which you know is commonly abused within the society now.
This water club is another way we are also trying to help in mitigating this problem. And the university is doing everything to see that students are sensitized through periodic lectures. And also we are planning to have a very good collaboration with NDLEA.
As part of the campaign, the NDLEA inaugurated executive members of a drug-free club among students. The students took an oath of allegiance administered by the Deputy Commander of Operations NDLEA Borno State, Abdullahi Sardona. In recognition of efforts towards a drug-free society, the Drug-Free Club presented an award of excellence to the Vice Chancellor of the University of Maiduguri alongside other distinguished personalities. Earlier, NDLEA officials, university staff, and students participated in road walk to raise awareness about the dangers of drug abuse. In Maiduguri, Angarju Anagawa, NTA News.
Away from that now to tell you that reconstruction work on the Wulari Police Barrack being carried out by the Borno State government towards provision of decent accommodation for police personnel has reached advanced stage of completion. The Commissioner of Works, Mustapha Gubio, was on an on-the-spot assessment of the reconstruction work alongside other projects in the state. The report.
The State Commissioner of Works and Housing, Mustapha Gubio, while inspecting the 36 units of 2 bedrooms at the barracks, acknowledged the quality of work done so far and called for timely completion. Mustapha Gubio also visited the interlocking production site along Jimtulo Road, meant for the Borno State University Teaching Hospital under construction. The commissioner and his team later inspected the new trailer park, which is at advanced stage of completion.
As you can see, we're in the finishing touches. So as soon as this work is completed, the trailer park will be open. What remains here now is for us to do the landscaping.
The multi-million naira trailer park, which is first of its kind in Maiduguri, is expected to accommodate 750 trailers at a time. Other facilities in the trailer park include administrative block, lodges, restaurant, shops, police outposts, clinic, conveniences, and a mosque. Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Works and Housing, Ali Bawari, and the Special Advisor to Governor Zulum on Works, Korisha Tima, all commended Governor Zulum for ensuring completion of the trailer park, which they said will ease traffic congestion in the state capital.
And those are the latest stories for now from Maiduguri. Ruth in Abuja has more for us.
Thank you, Abubakar. Governmental experts from ECOWAS member states are in Abuja to brainstorm on processes for the validation of documents to activate logistics depots to support the regional standby force. Kelvin Ehunwahe reports that one of the logistics depots situated in Sierra Leone is currently being stocked with equipment.
The logistics base is to support all ECOWAS peace operations missions as well as a hub for the supply of equipment for the regional standby force to combat terrorism, violent extremism, and humanitarian support across the sub-region. Now, with the completion of the logistic depot in Lungu, Sierra Leone, it is imperative to develop relevant documents to guide the day-to-day operations of the depot. This meeting, being attended by security experts from member states, is essentially to work towards realizing that objective.
The activation of the ECOWAS standby force to fight terrorism is actually what we are now currently planning to do. We need to have the required resources. Already member states have given us the troops that will populate, the contingent that will move, in activation of the standby force in its kinetic form.
It's not fixed. The threat determines how big the force will be. But units in member states are placed on alert based on what is pledged to the collective effort. And they are trained together, they are prepared, then deployed as the situation requires.
At the end of the validation meeting, a definite framework of operations, especially deployment strategies, are expected to evolve. In Abuja, Kelvin Ewonwaye, NTA News.
The National Counter-Terrorism Centre, Office of the National Security Advisor, in collaboration with the British High Commission, has launched a strategic commanders course on crisis management in Abuja. Defence correspondent Ismail Musa reports that the programme aims to equip security leaders with critical skills for effective crisis response and multi-agency coordination.
You are welcome.
Security, intelligence officers and relevant stakeholders converge at the National Counter-Terrorism Centre in Abuja for the Strategic Command course on crisis management. The initiative, organized in collaboration with the British High Commission, is geared towards enhancing Nigeria's preparedness and response to security threats. The national coordinator of the centre stressed the importance of proactive crisis management, particularly in the fight against terrorism and violent extremism.
The tactics used by non-state actors keep evolving and are becoming highly unpredictable. It has therefore become important to engage stakeholders, ensure they are alert, trained, and proactive in handling the ever-evolving tactics of non-state actors.
The Strategic Commanders course is expected to develop capacities on multi-agency incident commands, guide crisis decision-making, and strategic operations.
The course will refresh your understanding as senior commanders of each other's respective agencies and how to best use them to prepare and react collectively to serious incidents using all that is available to best effect.
As strategic leaders, you are at the forefront of our nation's effort in responding to crisis situations. Accordingly, your roles will require you to make tough decisions, think critically, and act decisively.
The training is part of ongoing efforts to bolster Nigeria's security framework and foster international cooperation in counter-terrorism efforts. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Amidst the booming guns of war, there shines the bright light of peace. The Ukrainian nation has been at war with its Russian neighbor, although there are talks towards peaceful resolution of the issues. On the 3rd anniversary of the conflict, Mia Ogidi looks at the cost of war in the region.
3 years of pain, loss, solidarity and hope for a better future. What many considered a family feud is shaping new global security order. 24th February 2022, clouds of smoke seen in the skies above Kyiv. Explosions in residential areas. And 3 years on, the full-scale Russian invasion of Ukraine still counting. And the civilian population continues to face near-daily attacks. Russia's anger, among other issues, traced to Ukraine's ambition to align itself with Western countries, including its publicly stated interest in joining NATO. Counting the cost, figures from UN office indicate that more than 12,600 civilians have been confirmed killed and over 29,000 injured in the past 3 years. Millions of lives in constant fear, while those in occupied territories face severe restrictions and limited access to humanitarian aid. An entire generation of Ukrainians is growing up in wartime. Relentless attacks on infrastructure are deepening the crisis. Over 10% of Ukraine's housing stock has been damaged, leaving at least 2 million families without adequate shelter. More than 3,600 schools and universities have been damaged. Repeated strikes on the energy system, 3 winters in a row, leaving communities without electricity. A total of 12.7 million people require humanitarian aid. Several interventions from global leaders and organizations yet to end the crisis. But US President Donald Trump says he can end the war.
I think I have the power to end this war, and I think it's going very well.
He has held talks with Russian President Putin and scheduled to meet with Ukrainian President Zelensky in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, February 25. The Ukrainian army, however, struggling to hold its defense lines, hoping for an end to a conflict that has not only altered the course of history in both nations, but also a profound implication on global security. Mie Ogede, NTA News.
Well, coincidentally, today is World Peace and Understanding Day. Well, actually, yesterday, not today. A day observed annually as a testament to the enduring spirit of harmony, compassion, and cooperation among diverse cultures, religions, and regions. Well, today is not just a commemoration, but a call to action for everyone to play their part in making the world a better place. Don't you think so? Ifoma Omeza reports on the essence of the day to Nigerians.
World Peace and Understanding Day holds immense significance in today's world, characterized by geopolitical complexities, social upheavals, and cultural diversity. This day serves as a clarion call for individuals, communities, and nations to transcend boundaries, foster empathy, and embrace the principles of peace and cooperation.
Peace is non-violence, unity, togetherness. It can be achieved through coming together as human, coming together as a family, coming together as a community to promote peace. And how does this come? It comes when respect is being involved.
Peace starts from yourself initially, what you let in your space and everything, and then from there you can now extend it to the next person.
It is common knowledge that the cost of peace is always cheaper than that of war, conflict, and crime. United Nations therefore encourages nations in this year's celebration to be more proactive in order to promote sustainable peace-building efforts worldwide.
Like we know, peace is priceless, and we know terror is senseless. In every society, we pray for peace. We always admonish that we have peace. Why? Because when there is peace, there is progress. When there is peace, there is development. When there is peace, you see that things, in fact, the community, the society, even the nation as a whole, things will go on smoothly. Everybody live in harmony.
You can see what is happening in the world today. A lot of crimes and this is failure on the part of the family. In terms of peace, there won't be development. In that sense of peace, there won't be progress. So the world peace should be embraced by everybody.
The event, which emphasizes the need for global unity and collaboration in creating a more peaceful and harmonious world, also commemorates the anniversary of the formation of Rotary International as a global network of men and women of peace builders. In Port Harcourt, Ifoma Omesa, NTA News.
Well, while the world is calling for peace, for some it may not be, because residents of recently attacked communities in Kwande local government area of Benue State are calling for increased security in the affected areas to enable them to return, to their means of livelihoods. They made the appeal when a delegation from the state government visited the area to assess in the aftermath of the attack. Simbiat Agbaji reports.
Few days ago, Agura, Gambe, Mbamo and Mbav communities in Kwande local government area came under attack, killing some people and destroying properties.
After we run, then shoot us, our brothers, then started burning our places.
To assess the level of damage, a high-powered delegation from the Benue State government, led by the Special Advisor to the Governor on Internal Security, Joseph Ha, visited the communities.
If we find ourselves, it means we are divided, and we cannot achieve a common enemy divider. Benue State is alarmed. We cannot run away. We cannot be tired. We must defend our territory. Comrade, contact.
Others called for calm and assured the affected persons of the government's urgent intervention, especially in the provision of immediate relief materials. The team later visited the Benue State University Teaching Hospital, where some of the injured are presently receiving medical attention. In Makudi, Simbiat Agbaji, NTA News. The Nigerian military says it is committed to gender mainstreaming within the security institutions to enhance equal representation and bolster the fight against criminality. The Commandant, National Defense College, Nigeria, Rear Admiral Olumuyiwa Olotu, who stated this in a message at a training for gender focal officers in security, charged the participants to drive responsive reforms in their various operational areas.
Private security landscape requires inclusive approaches in curtailing the impact of security threats on civilians, especially women and children, who remain the most vulnerable during armed conflicts. Armed conflicts such as terrorism, insurgency, as well as other humanitarian crises disproportionately affect women, children, and other vulnerable groups, making it imperative for security institutions to develop gender-sensitive policies and operations.
So it goes to show you that yes, it's difficult, it may take time, but it's possible. Most of these discriminatory practices are based on ignorance, and we can actually transform and change that. For the security institution, this training is very critical in the sense that as gender advisors, you have a critical role to play in mainstreaming gender and the women, peace and security agenda in your respective security institution.
The training is aimed at enhancing gender-responsive security operations and community dialogue project in Nigeria. All right, we'll take a break. We'll be back shortly. Please stay tuned. Thank you for staying with us. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, has encouraged students to remain disciplined by focusing on their studies, as the sky is the limit to what they could achieve in their life endeavors. General Musa made this call during the 50th anniversary of his alma mater, Yahya Abdul Karim Model Primary School, Sokoto. Abdullahi Umar Ilalu reports.
The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Gwabi Musa, was treated to a heroic welcome and later inspected a guard of honor mounted by the students in his honor. The general is giving back to his alma mater through renovation of classrooms, administrative and perimeter fence, as well as computer rooms and clinic to guarantee safe and friendly learning environment.
It's always a privilege. Not all of us that started are here today. Some have gone, not because we are better than them, but because of God's grace.
Former governor of defunct Sokoto State, whom the school is named after, appealed to the state government to consider handing over the school to the State Ministry of Basic Education, emphasizing that doing so will enable the school to regain its past glory. Governor Ahmed Aliyu highlighted the state government's huge investment in the education sector, citing ongoing effort to refurbish schools to ensure enrollment and quality of education in the state.
We ensured payment of external and examination fees for final students irrespective of their state or tribal or religious differences. We also employed 2,000 teachers to teach at secondary and nomadic schools across the state.
Highlights of the occasion was award presentation to the special guest of honor, former students, and the school's outstanding staff. It also featured entertainment by drama and cultural troops. In Sokoto, Abdullah Umar Iledu, NTA News.
For millions of children across Nigeria, access to quality basic education remains a crucial stepping stone to a better future. Well, recognizing this, the federal government, through the Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, and State Universal Basic Education Board, SUBEBS, well as doubling efforts to improve learning opportunities for all. This was at a high-level meeting with education stakeholders from all 36 states and the FCD, who came together to tackle pressing challenges.
For many children across Nigeria, quality education is their pathway to a brighter future. However, challenges such as inadequate infrastructure, limited funding, and gaps in teacher training continue to hinder learning. To change this, the federal government is calling for stronger collaboration between federal and state authorities to ensure better use of resources, improve school facilities, and well-trained teachers who can truly make a difference in the lives of young learners.
This workshop provides us with a unique opportunity to collectively evaluate our progress so far, identify challenges, and chart a new pathway towards achieving our shared goal of effective basic education system in Nigeria.
The development of this foundational level is essential for positive impact of the other tier of educational system and its contribution to the overall national development. I am confident that our discussions will dwell on the strategies to enhance the quality of basic education in Nigeria.
There is a renewed sense of hope among education stakeholders that these efforts will bring real change, creating better schools, empowering teachers, and giving every child a fair chance at success, ultimately changing the nation's future.
Nigeria needs a pragmatic approach and societal reorientation to empower citizens to play an active role in fostering good governance at all levels. This is the consensus of speakers at the third public lecture in honor of the past military governor of the defunct Northern Nigeria, General Hassan Usman Katsina. Awal Haliru reports.
With the theme, Nigeria's Democratic Order, Political Participation as a Tool for Good Governance, speakers are in agreement that in getting democracy on the right path, Nigerians have a role to play in laying foundation for long-term development, while recognizing that the vast majority of Nigerians are desirous of good governance. Discussants urge Nigerians to remain resolute and determined in shaping the future of this country.
The man was so straightforward. He was so simple to assess, and he was very truthful.
Nigerians must learn to go and cast their votes, protect their votes, make the right choices, no matter the circumstances.
This is a moment to not only remember the legacy of a great Nigerian leader, but also to reflect on the enduring values that General Hassan Usman Katsina embodied.
It is noteworthy that let Hassan Usman Katsina serve the nation in general and the northern region in particular with diligence.
But since when I was a kid, he has always been telling us to be up and do it.
A man that can help you without knowing your father, your mother, your religion, or from where you come from, as far as you are qualified.
The forum serves as a rallying point of people of like minds to promote the ideals of late General Hassan Usman Katsina, which was anchored on justice and fair play. In Katsina, Awal Haliru, NTA News.
Adoption of community intelligence strategy will encourage the public to share vital information about criminal activities in their neighborhoods and to assist the police in tackling security challenges in the country. A professor of counseling, criminal justice and open distance education, University of Ibadan, Oyesoji Aremu, stated this in Ogbomoso at the 4th Memorial Lecture in honor of the late former Inspector General of Police, Sunday Adewusi. Abiodun Babalola reports.
4th Memorial Lecture, which attracted community leaders in the Ogbomoso land, academics, family members and children of the late Inspector General of Police, Sunday Adewusi reappraised the contribution, patriotism and selfless service rendered by the late Asiwaju of Ogbomoso land towards the development of policing and national security in Nigeria. Professor Olusoji Aremu, in his lecture titled Failure of Internal Security, dissecting the historical and systemic dysfunctionality of the Nigeria Police Force, listed long hours of policing duty, lack of effective use of technologies, lack of adequate funding and logistics support as some of the challenges confronting the Nigeria Police Force. He, however, suggested the adoption of community intelligence to assist the police in accessing valuable insights and information directly from the people in addressing security concerns.
Review the Constitution, amend the Constitution to be able to accommodate the state policing. Because what we have in the Constitution is the national police, but we need to get this done. And again, the committee has to provide information. If you don't provide information, the security people will not be able to do much.
If you leave the security forces alone to maintain security, it will be extremely difficult for them also. Apart from being brilliant as a police officer, he was also very honest and responsible.
The late Sunday Adewusi served as Inspector General of Police between 1981 and 1983 and died on January 26, 2016 at the age of 79. Abiodun Babalola, NTA News.
All right, this concludes Nationwide at this time. Thank you for your company. We join outside broadcast crew for another live telecast all the way from Sokoto for the distribution of Ramadan packages to beneficiaries. Please do enjoy. Bye.